Let's go. What have we done recently? I did, where is he? Can you focus on that, please? A tiny duck. A tiny, tiny duck. And instead of putting him on a piece of string, I'm going to leave him on the wire so I can fire him in the oven. This duck has a name. His name is Sir Francis. I'll leave it at that. Right, what else did I do? Apart from Sir Francis, I did a tiny little rucksack with a star on it. All this is a ball of tin foil pressed into a kind of a rectangular cube or whatever, rectangle, and pushed and pulled some Sculpey over the top, so that'll should fire nicely. And we've done some work on the body itself. So I've bulked out the body and the neck, made sure I've got a little sort of ridge, not focusing, a ridge around the neck where the collar's going to go, made the body slim enough but also wide enough sort of front to back. And I've started sort of digging in the pleats for the skirt. It looks like a weird medieval puffball at the moment, but I just wanted to get the legs right, or almost all the way, and then carry on with the skirt, which will probably come down to about here anyway. There's an argument that says all this could be solid clay, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to have a thin skirt and then have it all the way down to the feet and sculpt some feet on. Then I'm going to put some sleeves and again the collar. I'm not sure if the chest is a little bit stocky. Might make her a little bit more narrow. I can cut a little bit out. As you can see underneath the arm there, I basically carve a little bit out with a knife and then smooth it. So that's how it kind of sculpts it, and to keep it, smooth, you just do that basically, and that'll smooth it all out. But I'm liking where it's going. So I think I may just get on with, I'm thinking arms. I'll do what I've done with the legs. I'll get some Sculpey all the way down the arms. But then I can't do that until I get the hand length and everything right. So I'm going to have to attach the hands at some point, aren't I? I can't put it off any longer. It's the fear. You want to do the things that are fun and avoid the things that aren't fun. There is that. And then obviously there's the head, which I think is looking nice now. I could put some hair onto that and maybe ears. I think that'll make it look a little cuter. And she needs eyebrows. Do I paint them on or do I sculpt them on? We shall see. Oakley dokley. So what I've quickly done to the face, I've rescored around the eyes to make them a bit smoother. I've scored the mouth, but I've also filled in the mouth a tiny bit. I realized that the smile doesn't go as wide as I originally had it. It looks less creepy this way. It looks a bit more sort of nicer. So I'm going to do a bit of hair. This bit, you can see it. This bit here. So I've just done basically a teardrop shape and flattened it out a little bit. And I'm going to see if I can place this in the right spot. It's always handy to have your reference nearby. So this goes right. I already know that's too thick. I'll just thin it out a little bit. Doesn't really matter so much at the back, but right, okay. It's like a weird beret. So it goes just the center parting is not the center part, it's just above the eyebrow, about there, and that comes down and then around where the ear is going to be. I don't mind that. I'm liking that. It's very hard to push it, but let's try and get it a little flatter. I'll be putting a load of lines and detail on it. It's a little bit kind of human league at the moment, but I'm liking this. Hang on, where's my other scopy tool? So in order to save you hours of boring video, you can see what I'm doing. I'm just basically flattening it down and smoothing it out as much as I possibly can for this side. Just trying to get it before I put any detail on. I think once I've got it kind of stuck to the head and blended at the back, it should be on decently. So far so good. So we're going to get another piece and do the same thing, basically make a ball out of it. I'll do it here. I tell you what, doing this doesn't have to bruise your hands. Okay, so we've got a ball. I'm going to squish it flat and try and blend in the cracks. There you go. And now we've got another Prince Charles ear. Sorry, King Charles. Right. This is a similar kind of thing, only a little smaller. So again, thin it out. A flattened edge here for the parting. And we'll bend that around there. So the important bits are there and there. Okay, second half. Another high-speed bit for you to save you the hassle. So again, same thing, flattening it all down, getting the center parting as best I can, only halfway. I need to put some more on the back here. But again, cutting a few bits off. I'm having a little bit of problem because I don't know where the ears are going. So it looks okay. I think it needs to go further forward, as you can see what I've done there, and thinned out at the front a little bit. I think in this section here I'm going to make some temporary ears, so just circles that I've squashed flat either side. They're not particularly symmetrical just now, but it gives me a better idea of what's going on. Okay, so one of the best tips I've ever had from sculpting was watching a friend of mine sculpt many years ago, and they used cling film. I was like, what's the cling film for? I thought, is it maybe to keep the clay fresh or something? But no. Basically, when you're doing detail, wrinkles, skin, fine carving on stuff, you put the cling film over the top like so. And that way, when you start scoring into it, the cling film does that. It pushes down and makes a nice soft indentation rather than scraping a big line in it. And it works really well. So for when you're doing hair, for example, you can dig it quite deep. And when you peel it off, the detail is, you almost don't need to smooth it off then with a brush or anything. It's just lovely. I'm going to get some of those into the parting. Sorry, I know my hand's in the way. Can you see that? I wonder if we can zoom in using the old camera. Sorry, it's a little bit janky. There we go. Hopefully that's in focus, but you can see the scoring going on for the hair. And once you've done a few of them, you take it off. Look how nice that looks. But also, it gets tight, so you need to put it back on. Oh, I said tight.
Tight.
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, so in order to stop it getting too tight, you know, you take it off and loosen it a little bit. But this works great. I mean, if you're doing skin textures on, you know, wrinkly hands, for example, how wrinkly my hands are, you can go sideways and crisscross and everything, and it's so good. And one more quick one showing a close-up of the detail using the cling film, which I really love doing. And yeah, look at that, it's tremendous. And now it's only just in focus, but you see what I'm getting at. That's how you do nice hair texture. I know these sculpting videos, I mean this one, or this clip already is 4 minutes long before I cut it down, but unfortunately we're talking hours, so I'm gonna have to just do a lot of work on this off camera, and we'll come back when I've done a little bit more. But she's beginning to look like the drawing, and I'm happy with that. Okay, it's been a couple of days since I did any work on this, because obviously life gets in the way, and I can't quite remember what parts I've covered and what I haven't covered. So I'll just do a slight overlap and hopefully fix it in the edit, because that's how much of a cowboy I am. As you can see, she's looking pretty nice compared to drawing. Now we've given her ears, eyebrows, done the other half of the hair on this side, and just done a tiny bit of cleaning up, not cleaning up, but slimming down underneath the jawline there to prepare for when we need to get the head onto the body. You can see, let's see if this focuses. I hope it does. I think that will work. I've used the cling film trick to do hair all the way down to there, but obviously she's got long hair. Now I don't mind telling you, well, apart from the lack of symmetry in the ears, that ear seems to be a bit more prominent than that one, but I'm not going to complain too much about that. I'm quite happy about how the ears turned out. But I was about to say, I don't mind telling you, I'm a bit anxious about how to do the long hair falling down the back. I can't do it as a separate piece, because to join that later on when everything's fired and hardened, you'll see a join. So I have to join it somehow. But how does one do it? I think it might just be a case of just making a flat piece, connecting it as best as possible, and going for it. But the other problem I have is knowing how far down to do it, because obviously the head's going to go onto the body at some point, and at that point, how will the hair be long enough, you know? So talking of the body, let's do a little overlap on what's happened with the body. So I bulked up the front of the body a little bit more, so she's less sort of parallel and flat. Back is a bit flat at the moment. Trimmed the sides, carved off some from the sides here and here. Then the sort of ridge. Oh, we better get on camera, haven't we? Done the ridge there around the neck. Built the neck up higher than I need it to, because the head's going to pop on. And started working on the skirt, which is basically a number of sausages. I think it's 2 sausages all the way around. And then I started using the, is this the one? I think it was this one. Just to dig in and pull down to make the pleats. Obviously it's got to go even further. I think the skirt is actually going to go down to about here anyway. So I need to put some more material on the bottom half of the legs. And maybe I can do that very soon. Do I have the hands pretty much where, well, the arms in the position where I want them? And I am again racked with terror about the fact that I've got to put the hands on and get them posed and everything, because the hands, this hand has to hold the rucksack strap, and this hand has to hold an umbrella, so I've got to make sure it all kind of lines up, for want of a better word. Right, I think what we're going to do for now is try and solve the problem of the hair at the back of the head. So we'll put the body to one side, back there, and take a quick look at the back. Now maybe I should put the camera further down, but I don't think it goes much lower, hence the tripod. Let's cut and try that. I have my piece of, I rolled it out nice and thin so it's quicker to scoosh up. So what I'm going to do is roll a bit. I'm working in a very strange position. I'm sort of over the camera, so apologies for that. I'm just going to squish me a sausage. I think my plan is to put a sausage from the back of the head, right from ear to ear, to help support what's going to be the curtain of hair. So I'm making myself a sausage, quite a thick one because it's going to be cut into the head. Okay, so let's quickly put that down here, angle the camera. Final time lapse, just affixing the sausage to the back of the head. I'm squishing it quite hard and making sure the edges are neat, but right in the middle I'm leaving it rough and rugged, as they say. I'm going to be chopping a load of lines into that, not for texture but mainly for when I put the main curtain down, it will have something to stick to. So see, I'm chopping the lines in there so when they bend they'll stick a lot better because there's more surface area, so you just stick to the main bit of hair. Okay, let us stop there. I has a problem. That's all the sculpey I've got left. All the sculpey I've got left to hand, because I made the backpack, which I really should put in the oven and fire. And I've done some work on the body, but we've got this kind of shape all the way around the back of the head now, which I hope will support the hair a bit better. The reason I've cut in all these indentations is they'll squish better up against the new piece of hair. So I've got to go prepare some more clay. So in the meantime, cut to this. Okay, so I've decided to temporarily mount the character on this plinth I've got. I've got this little sort of MDF plinth. I've taped some clear plastic there so I can sculpt without dirtying the varnish on the plinth. I had to drill 2 holes in with my Dremel, and with a scalpel then I cut 2 ridges so I can fold those pieces into the ridges and stick some glue in there. But I can't do that just yet, because if I do that, she's stuck and I can't put her in the oven to fire her to harden all the clay. So I'm just going to leave it like this for now, mounted on this roll of tape. As you'll see, I've got the hand in there, so I've wrapped all the wires around the arm as best I possibly can, snipped off the fingers a lot shorter, posed the hand, put some super glue all on here, and I'm happy with that. So I've got to probably get the other arm done. There is an argument that says I can probably sculpt all the way over that with the hand without putting any wire in the fingers at all. But we'll see. I definitely have to do the legs, feet and skirt, and also start looking at the head as well. When this goes into the oven, I've got to find a way of putting it in the oven, you know, where it's not sort of touching anything, like maybe hang it from the loop there into the oven so it's, you know, just in the middle. Anyway, so far so good, and it's only Friday. Okay, so as you can see, I'm editing, and we're coming up to the 19-minute mark on this video. So I'm going to stop here. It's kind of twice as long as I wanted to, but it's this sculpting process. It does take a long time. Anyway, I hope you found that interesting. Just to remind you, I'll be back every Tuesday at 5 p.m. UK time. So it's Terry on Tuesday at tea time. I didn't invent that, my friend Yost did. Thanks for that. And we shall carry on. I may do a video in between the next sculpting segment. But anyway, hello to all new subscribers. It's slowly creeping up, so thanks for that. And I will see you on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Take care now. Bye-bye then.